Hello and welcome back to Kim Reeves as we continue with Molly's surprise. Chapter 3, Keeping Secrets. Something wonderful had happened. Molly knew it the minute she woke up. Her room was full of sunshine. Lights shimmered and danced on the walls. Molly pushed back the covers and hurried out of bed. The floor was cold to her bare feet, so she hopped from rug to rug as if they were stepping stones on an icy stream. She looked out the window. Snow. Beautiful, bright, white snow all over everything. As thick as icing on a cake. Oh boy, snow, thought Molly. She couldn't wait to get outside in all that deep, clean whiteness. Molly didn't stop to get dressed. With her socks and shoes in hand, she rushed across the hall and burst into Jill's room. Jill was snuggled so deep under the covers that only the top part of her head showed. Her hair was bobby pinned in a rows of tight curls so that her hair looked like a prickly pineapple resting on the pillow. Molly shook her shoulder. Jill, she whispered urgently, wake up. Jill rolled over and opened one eye. What? Come up, get up, it snowed. Molly wobbled up on one foot, pulling a sock on the other foot as she talked. Oh, Jill moaned. Go away. But Jill, said Molly, it's the first snow of the winter. Don't you want to go out and... No, Jill snapped. I want to sleep. I can't believe you woke me up just because of some stupid snow. Go away. She pulled the covers over her head. Molly backed out of Jill's room and closed the door. Last year, Jill woke Molly up the first time it snowed. She was excited as Molly was. They made outlines of angels all over the driveway by lying on their backs in the snow and moving their arms up and down. Molly sighed. She should have just realized Jill wouldn't care about snow this year. Now that Jill was 14, she didn't get excited about anything that was fun anymore. She was realistic. Molly tiptoed downstairs to the kitchen. She pulled down her snow jacket, boots, hats, mittens, and went inside. The whole world was blue sky and white snow. It was as if Molly had stepped out of her same old back door into a enchanted land no one had ever seen before. It was hers alone. Yesterday the trees were sad, scrawny black skeletons. Today their branches were soft white arms outside, outstretched to welcome the snow. Everything was smooth and softened by the sparkly blanket of white. With a wild whoop, Molly took a flying leap up the stairs into a drift of snow. It was like jumping into a cloud. A car made its way slowly down the street, its chains jiggling like bells on a sleigh. The snow came to the top of Molly's boots. She scooped up a handful to lip. Snow for Christmas, she thought. It's perfect. It's a big, great, giant Christmas surprise. Now the entire world will be ready for Christmas. She wondered what Dad's Christmas would be like in England. Maybe the fighting would stop for a while. The doctors and nurses in the hospital might have a Christmas party. Would they sing Christmas carols and give each other presents? Molly wished there would be enough for a Red Cross nurse. Then she'd go to England and work for a hospital with Dad. She'd wear a uniform as white as the morning snow and a cap with a Red Cross on it. Nurse McIntyre, that's what the soldiers would call her. She'd ride in the ambulance out in the battlefields and rescue the poor wounded soldiers while guns fired all around her. Nothing would scare her. Nothing would stop her. Not blizzards or bombs or whack. Something cold hit Molly on the leg. It was a snowball. Bombs away, yelled Ricky from his bedroom window. He launched another snowball at Molly. Cut it out, Molly laughed. She threw a handful of snow at him. Ricky had made a stockpile of balls from the snow around his windows. Molly ran and dodged as he pelted her with snowball after snowball. Ricky imitated the deep voice radio announcers used when they described American Airlines bombing the enemy. Our brave flyers, bombers who can hit smack any target with deadly currency. Whack, nothing can make these flying fortresses from got ya, delivering their tons and tons of bombs. Bam. Suddenly Jeer appeared on the back steps. Richard Culver McIntyre, she said in her bossiest voice. Close that window immediately. You'll freeze the entire house. Ricky chuckled his last snowball at Jill and then vanished. Molly looked at her sister. I thought you wanted to sleep. Jill grinned and shrugged. I figured I was already awake. Might as well come out. Let's go make angels in the front yard, said Molly. Okay, said Jill. Her cheeks were already as red as Christmas bows. Molly made a chain of neat boot prints in a single line around the corner. Jill stepped in the prints Molly made. They always like to leave the snow as pure and unmarked as possible. Our house looks perfect as an old-fashioned Christmas card, doesn't it? Molly sighed as she looked up at Mom's wreath at the front door. Suddenly she stopped talking. What was that lump on the front porch right under the wreath? She began to run, slipping and sliding across the smooth white yard, stumbling up the steps to the front door. She dropped to her knees on the doorstep. Jill, she said, come quick. She began digging wildly in the lump, saying the snow out in a whirling small blizzard. What is it? Asked Jill. Then she saw it too, as big as a suitcase, half buried in the snow. Molly brushed the snow off the top of the box. Jill read the label. It's from Dad, said Molly. She felt happy to explode and started like fireworks. She hugged the box as if it were her father. Come on, let's dig out the snow and show everybody. Wait until they see. Jill was too happy to talk. She sat right down on the steps and helped Molly clear the snow away from the box. The brown paper was torn and ragged, spotted with stamps and stickers. Molly dug all the snow away from one edge of the box. There in big letters was a message. It said, keep hidden until Christmas Day. It was Dad's handwriting. Molly would know it from anywhere. It was familiar as her face. Molly could almost hear her father's voice saying those words. The voice would be full of fun, but serious too. Jill, look at this. Molly pointed to the words. Jill read the message. Keep hidden, she said. Dad wants us to hide the box until Christmas. That's 2 days away, said Molly. Jill frowned. I don't know if we should have it. I'm glad it's here because it means Dad's okay. I want to tell everyone. She read the message again. Molly stood up. Let's put it somewhere first, then decide what to do. Jill nodded. Okay. Like two excited pirates feverishly digging up long-lost treasure, Jill and Molly dug the box out of the window. Where should we put it? Asked Jill. We can't take it inside the house. The garage. We'll put it up in the storage room above the garage, said Molly. Jill took one end of the box, and Molly took the other, and they walked to the corner of their house. Molly craned her neck around to look at Marita's windows. They were closed. The coast was clear, she said. Jill made a face. The box is so heavy my arms are being pulled out of their sockets. She said there must be a lot of great presents inside. Her carefully bobbed pin curls hung in bedraggled clumps. The girls waddled across the driveway as quick as they could. The boxes were pushed against their stomachs, making it hard to breathe. Step, thump, step, thump, step, thump. They struggled up the stairs to the room above the garage. Molly pushed the door open with her neck. Once outside, they put the box down and collapsed like melted snowmen. Phew, that was hard, said Jill. She leaned against the back door. Molly was sweating under her snow jacket. Bobbles of snow were frozen in her pajama legs. Her hands were inside the mittens, were stiff with cold and the weight of the box. Molly and Jill stared at the box. So what do you think is in there? Asked Jill. Presents, of course. Yes, but what? Jill squatted next to the box. She smoothed the wet brown wrapping paper. Maybe we should open it up just to make sure nothing is broken or anything. No peeking, said Molly. That's not fair. Dad wants everything about this box to be a surprise. Jill looked sheepish. She sat down again. But Dad doesn't know how worried we've been. He doesn't know what it's like to wait and wait and wait for even a letter. He doesn't know how much we've been hoping for this box. Molly smiled. I thought you were being realistic about Christmas this year. I thought you said it was childish to hope for surprises. Jill laughed. I guess I did, but I guess I really never stopped hoping this box would come. That's why I think we should tell everybody right away. They're all hoping too. It would make them so happy. But Dad says to keep it hidden until Christmas Day, Molly answered. If we tell everyone now, it'll ruin the surprise. Molly thought for a moment. Then she stood up. Okay, we'd better hide in the corner in case someone comes up here. Molly and Jill pushed the box in the darkest corner of the room. Molly pulled a dusty old blanket over it and put 2 Broca's tennis rackets on top. There, she said as she backed away. That ought to do it. The box under the blanket looked like a lumpy round bare piece falling in a snug corner. I sort of don't want to go away and leave it, said Jill. I'm afraid if it's a dream, the box will be gone when we come back. I know what you mean, said Molly, but we better go. Everybody will be getting up for breakfast. We can check on the box later. Jill nudged the box with the toe of her boot. Good old Dad, she said. I told you he wouldn't forget, said Molly. Come on, let's go. Remember to act as if nothing had happened. As she followed Jill down the stairs and across the driveway, Molly felt happy, completely, entirely head to toe happy. She and Jill stamped their feet at the back of the door to make the snow avalanche off their boots. When they went into the kitchen, Mrs. McIntyre took a look through them and laughed. Well, you two look like rosy little elves. Where have you been? Up in the North Pole working on Santa's surprises for all of us? Molly felt her face grew hot. Mom's joke was too close to the truth. She stepped over the unbuckled boots. We were just outside, she stammered. Playing in the snow, finished Jill. So I see, said Mrs. McIntyre. She lifted Molly's wet hat off her head with 2 fingers. How did you manage to get Dirk Street across your dragon when you were put in the snow? Molly looked down her jacket. Dust from the old blanket had left a streak across it. She didn't know what to say. We were in the garage, said Jill, in a voice as cool as light as a snowflake. Looking for sleds, I'll bet, smiled Mrs. McIntyre. Well, you can go sledding after all breakfast. But right now, both of you scoot up stairs and put on dry clothes. Molly, you're still in your pajamas. Molly and Jill galloped upstairs. At the top, Jill yanked Molly into her room and closed the door. Phew, said Molly. I thought maybe she saw us with the box or something. Listen, said Jill. I think we should tell Mom about the box. Dad probably thought she'd be the first one to get it anyway. It would be easier if she knew, admitted Molly. It almost feels like we're lying to her by keeping it a secret. That's why I think so too, said Jill. Besides, she's probably already suspicious. You're terrible at the secret-keeping business. You're acting as if you robbed a bank or something. Mom would suspect you have a secret. Well, everyone has secrets at Christmas time, said Molly. Yeah, but not as big as this one, said Jill. Let's tell Mom about the box. But Molly just couldn't give in. Telling one person is the same as telling everyone. You can't keep a secret just a little bit. You either keep it completely or give it all away. Dad wants to surprise everyone for Christmas. We have to help him. Jill crossed her arms. All right, but how much longer do we have to keep it hidden? Molly thought, we'll have to wait until everyone goes to sleep on Christmas Eve, and then we'll sneak over and put it on the tree. But then, until then, absolutely no one, not Mom, not Brad, nobody, promise. Okay, I promise, said Jill. She grinned. Now I know how Santa Claus must feel. Molly grinned too. It was not easy to keep a Christmas surprise a secret, she said. But this one is worth it. This will be the best Christmas surprise anyone ever had. And that's the end of that chapter. See you later.